color to be elected mayor of San Jose, his hometown. He was also the first Asian American to hold a U.S. cabinet position and the longest-running transportation secretary. This in addition to being a Congress member for 20 years.
He was the most impactful person in the history of San Jose.
Rob Diridon Sr., a transportation leader himself, counted Mineta as a close friend. He said Mineta was quickly successful as a young Congress member.
He had authored or helped pass several landmark issues, such as having the president apologize for the World War II Japanese-American internment and pay reparations to the survivors.
A group that included him and his family. Former San Jose Supervisor Blanca Alvarado said we would be fortunate to have more politicians like Mineta today.
Today's polarized world is very different. Norm, in his gentle and persuasive manner, with his winning smile, would reach across the aisle, not for his glory and prestige, but to build lasting partnerships to benefit the common good.
Megan Goldsby, KCBS.
Although 6 opinions were handed down today from the nation's highest court spanning an array of issues, KCBS's Chris Ancarlo reports we are still waiting on some of the Supreme Court's most highly anticipated decisions. Key among them is Dobbs v. Jackson, which could mean the overturning of Roe v. Wade. There are also cases about prayer in schools, climate regulation, and gun control.
They're going to come down relatively soon.
UC Hastings School of Law professor Rory Little is a former Supreme Court clerk.
They usually try to finish by the end of the month. Today we're halfway through June. And they're now doing opinion days 2 days a week, and at the very end they might do opinion days 3 days a week.
He says he thinks the court will probably wait until the final day of the term to announce opinions on the cases involving abortion and guns. Typically, the term closes at the end of June. Among the opinions handed down today, an overturning of a labor law here in California that allows private lawsuits on behalf of workers who have arbitration agreements. The court also declined to decide on a case brought by 13 states against San Francisco in an attempt to reinstate a Trump-era immigration policy denying green cards to people who accept certain government benefits. Chris Ancarlo, KCBS.
One San Francisco supervisor wants the city to hold public town hall meetings after every traffic fatality on city streets after what was a deadly month for San Francisco pedestrians and cyclists. Supervisor Dean Preston introduced the resolution this week, noting that the city has already had 15 traffic fatalities this year. That's the highest year-to-date count since 2019. Just ahead on KCBS,
I'm Marcia Wall in Santa Rosa. Bills and squalor want the model for supportive housing. Those living in a converted hotel say the living conditions have become untenable.
It is time for the hour's first check of KCBS traffic news, and right on cue, Kim Bester appears from your local Honda dealer's traffic center with an update on Oakland.
yes, and better news for this backup behind the stall, eastbound 580. We pinpointed the location just before 106th. The lanes are clear. Now, 580 in Livermore, a new problem just popped up since our last report. This is a crash. Eastbound 580 before Vasco Road. It is in the center divide. Traffic is slow in stretches from 1st Street to Grant Line Road, but no other accidents ahead on the Altamont Pass. You ride into Tracy 205. Some slowing before and after North MacArthur. That's typical. Sonol grade, a minor incident of stall northbound 680 Calaveras is still blocking the right lane. Traffic slow from before Sheridan. Peninsula has been a big problem getting to and from the San Mateo Bridge. We had two separate incidents, one westbound, one eastbound on the decline, and the westbound ride's fine. That's counter commute. Eastbound still getting slammed. Eastbound 92 backed up from before Hillsdale. Northbound 101 is, that backup is terrible now. It was backed up to Whipple Avenue, and now it's backed up about the same place. But they had a crash at Hillsdale, so that added to the heavy traffic in the San Mateo area. Your next update, 518 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
We've had a little bit of warming early this week, and now temperatures are actually going to fall to below average. It's a cold front, a weak cold front that's coming in starting tomorrow. It's going to cool things to mostly 60s by the bay tomorrow, upper 60s, mid to upper 70s.
Okay.